Alright, I'm out here today to change the front ball joints and control arms for a 97 Ford Explorer. I'm sure this same process will work on a variety of vehicles. I have the vehicle jacked up, chocked on the front and back, emergency brake on, vehicle lifted. I'm about to start. I need 2 hands for this. You can see the top bushing is cracked. The bottom one is also cracked. So this will be how to do both. I'm sitting for a bit, but first step once you get the tire off is to remove the calipers, which should be a 13. And it's, like I said, I just sprayed them down with some penetrating fluid, so it should come off comparatively easy. That broke without too much difficulty. Instead, this vehicle has been sitting for a bit, but both those broke free. Now they're just a little over hand tight, so look up more of these. And then the caliper should slide off, and then the mounting bracket will be removed, which, if I recall, are 15s. There you go. Those are coming off. You can pause it. All right, those are unscrewed. That pries right out. There you go. Once you pull this off, just hang those up. I use a bungee cord attached to the shock, and it'll stay up and out of the way.
And making sure they all collect nice.
So this is the back side where the caliper mount attaches. It's a size 15. This ratchet's pretty long, so I probably don't need a breaker bar. We'll see. I may need one. Make sure I'm not tightening it. Okay. That one's broke free. And this top one is right up there. Again, the back side of the caliper mount, size 15. Need 2 hands. Alright, these are down to hand tight. Took 2 hands to do that. Sorry. Set that down for a second. This one. So that's off. Then this comes right off. Oh no, we got blue chalk hands. Rotor comes right off. It said it's rusted because it's been sitting, but it's still got plenty of braking power on it. Yeah.
This is my chalk person that I made.
Next bolt is this top ball joint and control arm. That's a size 17 nut, and I got a 15 box wrench on this side, which will take that off, which will require 2 hands. Broke. Now I'll just be loosening it now. That's out. I may need a hammer. Bean, stay back from the car. There we go. That's good. That's loose. One detached. This ABS line before I pop that rest of the way off. Before I pound that thing the rest of the way out, I'm going to remove the axle nut, which is a 1 1/4 bit, which I have an impact that goes on. That was already a little bit loose, but there you go. That'll pop that off. If you don't have this, if you have the 1 1/4 drive, you can still pry it off with a pry bar. Now this should come off the rest of the way. There you go. That is attached. This was tore open. It's honestly not horrible yet, but it is ripped, so. Oh, whatever on that. This should pop through. That goes to the side, not too much difficulty. This should pop through. And then we should be able to put the new one on. Alright, next. It's got a castle nut. Next, there's a castle nut. Probably a little hard to tell. And a cotter pin. Get the cotter pin on, and that should come right off. I don't know what size it is yet. I was able to just push that out with my hand. I'm going to unscrew the castle nut, and then this thing should come right off on the bottom. That bottom castle nut is a 15/16. So it should, with the breaker bar, that should come off without too much difficulty. Well, I need 2 hands for this. So I got the castle nut off, as well as the little clip ring. This is still holding on pretty tight. I may need to get a crowbar in there to separate it. I'm prying to get that out of the to get the ball joint out of the this thing. I actually don't know what that piece is called. Probably should. It took some prying to get the ball joint out. Now it's left to just press it out of where it was. I have a ball press right here, so this should not be overly difficult. I'm trying to get this thing out. Now I just got to press it out with the ball joint press, which is right here. I rented this from AutoZone. It's like $100, but you can get 100% of your money back as long as you keep the receipt. So it ends up being pretty reasonable. So the new ball joints don't have these fittings, so I'm going to try to recycle them before I get too far. There you go, size 10 appears to work. There you go. Hopefully I did not snap it. Yeah, I did snap it. Awesome. Well, I can get a new one of these. I think they're called Zerk fittings. Snapped off. Well, makes it a lot easier to replace. I'm just going to I can put that on after, and then I got a grease gun, so that won't be too hard. But through some combination of these things, you need to press this into this. So I'll need 2 hands for this, so I'll show you in a sec. So this is what it ends up looking like. That big piece cupped around that. The bottom of the ball joint should be in the hole on the bottom of that and pressed all the way there. Then you get a large set of wrenches slash pliers and turn this. Once you twist it all the way to one side, it catches, and then you just slowly press it out. I was having a little trouble with that. I think it wasn't going in there exactly square. So I put a socket on the top and hit it with a sledgehammer and it popped right out. So another option, especially if you're not going to reuse the Zerk fitting, to get that thing out of there. So in order to put this back together, I had to take the boot off, so you don't want to get any junk in there. But this just fits over to the metal, and there it gives me just enough room to press. So this will go in the clamp, and then I can push it up into place this way using this press. I will show you it set up. That's what it ends up looking like when everything is hooked up correctly. So there you go. Alright, so I couldn't get this thing to all the way fit on without taking the axle out, and I really didn't want to take the axle out. On the other side, I may take the axle out. I'm still up in the air on that. However, I used this press. I lifted it with a jack and then I tapped on the top of this with the sledgehammer. Right there. With constant upward pressure on, you see the ball joint is now set into place. All the way, maybe you can't see it, right there. That's where a retainer clip goes, so it's all the way in. Not the official right way to do it, but it works. So probably should use snap ring pliers for these, but just so you can see regular ass tools, you can do it so long as they'll fit in there. Yeah. All right, it did have a Zerk fitting in there. I'm gonna drop this jack and finish up this. Screw goes on. There's a new ball joint. Yeah. So this is a cotter pin. I'm putting it through. Once it goes through, I'm actually gonna go the other way with it so the sharp stuff's away from the wheel, and bend them around. You can use by hand, or you could use pliers, but I use my fingers. I also, as you see, that's in there. The size for that was a 1 inch going back on that castle nut. It was 7/8, I believe, or 13/16, 15/16. It's a bigger size than the one coming off. I also replaced this upper control arm. I'll make a separate video on how to do that when I put the other side back on. But the vehicle is essentially back assembled, ball joint in, upper control arm replaced. Just gotta put the axle nut back on, brakes back on, tire back on, and we'll be about done then.
You put it on YouTube, man?
Oh yeah.
I figured I hear you talking. I'm like,
I'm gonna put this middle one back on with the impact. Tighten up the caliper holder right now. Remember, it's size 15. Losing daylight. Alright, these go back in, put the brakes. Phone just died. I got those last ones attached to caliper to caliper mount. Size 13s screwed in. Now I just got to put the tire on, and this will be back assembled.